Drama has returned to the Brooklyn Nets as news broke on Friday afternoon that Kyrie Irving has requested to be traded prior to Thursday's NBA trade deadline. New York Post Nets beat reporter Brian Lewis, he never brings the drama, but he does bring you the news around the Nets, and we will talk to Brian about the latest Kyrie saga. Brian, how are you doing? Are you drama-free?
I'm trying.
We can respect and appreciate that. Now, Brian, we know Irving and the Nets haven't been able to agree on a contract extension. Now, a trade demand 6 days before the deadline. Who is the leverage here? Do the Nets have to trade Kyrie before Thursday?
Not only is trading him not a must, I'm not even sure it's advisable or a likelihood. Listen, they've already called his bluff once in the summer. There's no reason that they can't do it again. They have bird rights, so they can certainly continue negotiating and get a deal done. They haven't been able to get one done so far, but that doesn't mean that there isn't room for them to get an extension done. And if all fails, then they can let it ride, try to win a title, and then move him in the summer in a sign and trade. There's absolutely no necessity to trade him by Thursday. And I wouldn't be shocked if he's here on the roster come Friday.
All right, interesting. So two-part question here for me, Brian. If the Nets trade Kyrie, what do you think they can get in return? And if they don't trade Kyrie, do you think he will play out the rest of the season in Brooklyn?
What do I think they'll get? Something subpar. Listen, he's been great this year. He's averaging 27 and 5 and 5. Whatever they get will not be of that ilk, because chances are whatever they get will not have the baggage that Kyrie brings with him. So whatever you're bringing back almost certainly lessens your odds of winning a championship, at least in the immediate future. So whatever they'd get, I would say it's going to be subpar. Now, as far as whether he'll play, Listen, I've learned it's probably not advisable to try to guess what Kyrie Irving will or won't do. Could he hold out? I guess. Could he take a week or 2 week sabbatical as soon as the trade deadline is over? I mean, it's possible. But my advice is never try to predict what Kyrie Irving's going to do.
I think that's pretty good advice. I think a lot of people should follow that advice. Don't get into the prediction game around the drama with Kyrie. Now, Brian, this trade request is going to have a major effect on somebody who knows about a trade request, and that's Kevin Durant. Do you think KD would still want to play in Brooklyn if the Nets move on from Kyrie?
Offhand, I do not know to a certainty. Offhand, my assumption is part of that could depend on what the return is. In other words, all right, is Kyrie here, but Kyrie tells him, listen, I'm gone after the end of the season? That's one thing. If they do move Kyrie, what do they get back for Kyrie? Are you talking about future assets, which don't do KD a whole lot of good? Or are you talking about assets to try to keep yourself competitive? I will say, I think that is the $1 million or multi-million-dollar question. And that's the question that the entire league is now asking. That's the question that they're asking the Nets. Where does KD stand in all this? Does this change his odds of staying? And they're basically teams are basically talking to Kyrie, but looking at KD. They're basically saying, hey, you're available, but what I want to know is your friend single? That's basically what teams are doing when they're looking at Kyrie. They want to know about KD.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know what is going to happen, how this is going to affect the Nets, how it's going to affect KD. There are so many questions. There is more drama, Brian, around the Brooklyn Nets, which is kind of what they do. It's been on brand for them, but we will see how this all plays out before the deadline. It's going to be a busy week for you, I'm sure. Brian, we appreciate the time. Thank you, and as always, stay drama-free.
Chaos is their brand. Thanks for having me.
No problem.